Hi, welcome to White Hat versus Black Hat SEO Show. My name is Josh Bachynski. As always, I have with me my co-host Chase Reiner. Say hi, Chase.
Hello, everyone.
Chase has been so busy. He's so successful in the SEO sphere that he can barely create time for these podcasts we've been doing that old Josh wants to do, that old battle axe Josh. So he might have to bounce in a little bit to go actually help paying customers. But today, we want to help some non-paying customers. We want to give out the best free kind of SEO and Facebook and internet marketing advice that we can. With us on the call also today, we have Brad and Steve. Say hi, guys.
How's it going?
What up?
If you want to give yourself a 5-second introduction in case people don't know who you are. Steve, why don't you go first?
Sure. I'm Steve. I'm from Bright Source Media. I do Facebook advertising. And just real quick, for people who were on 2 weeks ago, I did want to give a shout out to Chase for sending me one of his official drink bottles. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I'll be using that throughout the podcast.
That'll do a trick for the plumbing, I think. That'll really...
I get so much crap for that. So for you guys who don't know, on my channel, literally, like, I'm always carrying around like this water bottle because I don't like put it in like a cup. And so every single video, almost, somebody comments and says, "Chase, why are you drinking so much water?" So that's what that means.
And you got to stay hydrated. You got to stay hydrated, especially where Chase is, because he's in a drought right now. I'm talking about the climate. I'm not talking about any other kind of drought he might be going through. But sorry, that was a low blow. Moving right along, Brad, why don't you introduce yourself? Save me from.
What up, Brad from NFG SEO, and we just focus on traffic and making some fucking money. So that's it.
Boom. And how many fucks are given?
0 today thus far. So we're looking good.
The day ain't done yet, as they say.
No, it ain't. Yeah, no, it ain't.
All right. All right, fantastic. Well, thanks, guys, for being here. So like I said, folks, today we want to be doing some SEO site clinics. And also, so you guys are in luck. Not only do I have a top black hat here, Brad, I have a more grayish hat, if Chase can let me say that. He's here. I'm more of a whitish hat guy. And we also have Steve here to take a look at your Facebook ad stuff and your Facebook stuff, if you've got anything like that going on. So by all means, in the chat, please put up your sites that you want us to look at. Say whatever it is, whatever questions you have, by all means, ask them. Submit your sites for us to look at. Some people have already submitted their sites to me a couple days ago when I tweeted this out, and so I guess we'll just start taking a look at these sites. Now, let me paste them here in the chat to make sure everybody can see them. Here they are here, and they gave them to me. One was public, one was not. The one that was said to me publicly was in Twitter, and so I guess he doesn't care if I mention it on air. I hope he doesn't. But it's formationseeker.com. Formationseeker.com is that particular site. So we can take a quick look at it. And again, you know, I just want to say that, of course, we all do paid audits of our respective areas. Of course, you're never going to get, you know, sometimes people submit their sites to these things, and they're like, "You only said 5 things. Why didn't you give a 5-hour in-depth audit of my site for free on air?" Well, for one, we don't work for free. 2, we don't have 5 hours. But we will give whatever we can see and whatever we can do. We will definitely try and help you out. And so if we can take a look at these sites and get a sense of what's going on. While we do that, I'm going to mention some new stuff that's going on in SEO right now. We normally like to start the show off with what's new in Black Hat, what's new in White Hat. So I'm going to start off with what's new in White Hat, while hopefully Steve, Chase, and Brad can take a look at these sites that we've got submitted and give some constructive criticism. Just today, actually, there's been an announcement that someone at Moz, Tom something or other, did a study and showed that brand searches correlate much more strongly with rankings than domain authority. So that was a pretty interesting. So if you don't understand what that means, so brand searches are when people go into Google and search for your brand. So if your company is called Formation Seeker, for example, using this site as an example, how many people in Google go type in Formation Seeker and click on your brand? This is a definite signal to Google telling them that you are an important brand that people care about. Versus domain authority, which is just raw link juice pointing to that URL, to that domain. So, and they checked the correlation reports, and they claim that it correlates much higher with rankings. Chase, Brad, you guys have any, I don't know if you've been listening to my talk here. Do you guys have any opinions about the difference between brand searches versus domain authority?
Yeah, I think that's 100% correct. I mean, you can't rank 2.0s like you used to for that type of stuff. So, I mean, brand searches, like I always talk about establishing an entity. So, you know, that's part of it. Brand searches. If someone's searching for you, then they give a shit. So, why wouldn't they give you a bump from that?
Exactly, and it could even be tying into. This could be one of the trust factors for links. I remember a patent did come out a couple of years ago that talked about the percentage of brand searches versus the percentage of links. You could have 1 million links pointing to your site, but if you don't have X number of brand searches, the brand searches kind of validate the link juice that they see pointing to the site. And so that wasn't a patent. Doesn't mean that they're using it, but that could very well tie into it in some shape or form. Okay, moving right along. That's about all that's new today. I've kind of announced everything that John Mueller has talked about recently. He hasn't had any updates, any recent discussions lately. So with that said, let's move right on to the site clinic portion. I'm just going to quickly check this chat here to see if anyone has inserted your site. So guys, for those of you who just joined, we're doing site clinics and SEO audits today. If you have a site that you want us to take a look at, put it in the chat here. On the you're probably looking at it on the right-hand side on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, or it's best if you put it there to make sure I see it. You could tweet it at me, but I might not notice it while I'm on here. So come on to the YouTube channel and put it in the side here, and we can try to give you some free advice. With that in mind, I'm going to move right on to Formation Seeker then, because that was the one that's been submitted. So right off the bat, I'll share my screen, and I'll look at what we got here. Perfect. So this is just a simple SEMrush search that I did for the site, and you can see here that they seem to be ranking for some stuff. This is good. I have no idea what this is about, by the way. Harmonic pattern scanner, harmonic trading software. I'm supposing it's some kind of musical-esque mathematical algorithm used to analyze stock trading. Do you guys think that's probably correct?
Yeah, it looks like some kind of stock thing, some prediction software is what I would assume.
That's interesting. It'd be interesting to apply that to SEO maybe, but anyway. So just the basic stuff. I mean, of course, there's 44 backlinks as far as SEMrush is concerned, and that's interesting. It didn't take very much for them to get page 1 rankings for some of this stuff, but it's a pretty niche. It seems to be a pretty niche niche. It seems to be a pretty far out there niche. They don't seem to have very much organic search traffic. So I took a look at the one of the SERPs that they're trying to rank for, and here they are down here, number 3. And the biggest kick I've been on lately, of course, is keyword density, because we just had that test that came out from my super secret testing group, where we showed that 1 to 3% keyword density over competitors will boost your rankings, but if you go to 4%, that will crash your rankings. So the sweet spot is about 1% higher than everybody else, 2% higher. Now, if you take a look here, their keyword density is 0% for that particular keyword that they're trying to rank for. I'm pretty sure that if they inserted that keyword a couple more times into their page in a natural way, not in like a spammy kind of jam it in the middle of a sentence way, but if they could float into the conversation a bit more, they might get a slight boost on that kind of a query. And of course, you can apply that kind of logic to any kind of query. If I take a look here and see how many times that word shows up here, of course, it doesn't seem to be showing up at all. Now, they've got an interesting page here. They're going with a giant hero image. It was kind of an animation that was running before. Let me reload the page so you can see the animation run. You see they've got kind of like a flash animation running here, and selling their stuffs. It's cool. Do you guys think this is helping them convert any search traffic?
Yeah, it looks good, but I don't know if it, I mean, I'd have to look at conversion data on that. That's more, conversion data is more Steve's area though. What do you think, Steve?
To be honest with you, again, I'd want to look at the data, but I mean, taking a look at this, going through, I went on the page and I didn't know exactly what it was at first. So, I mean, I think they might want to bring a little bit more call to actions on the top, on the top, 2 or 3 inches. So boom, something to do. I'm kind of going all around my mouse here, kind of look. I see free account. I see got it. That kind of stuff. I like just a banner and then boom, a call to action, or maybe products, 3 products that I can literally click. Yes, I know what that is. I want to do that. I want to do that.
Yeah, I mean the data. I think you guys are right. The data would tell for sure. Now, I imagine people looking already for harmonic, whatever it was, harmonic pattern, whatchamacallits.
Goofilator on the.
Yeah, I mean, people looking for that already kind of know what it is, and so it might mean something to them. So you're absolutely right. We would have to check to see. The data doesn't lie, right? At the end of the day, we can make all the from the hip guesses we want, and usually, being in the industry so long, we're pretty good at it. But at the end of the day, the data is what matters, and if people are converting, great. But if I had to guess, looking at that page, I don't think it's building enough value right at the top here. I don't think this is building enough value. Make your trading easier. That's a good sales value proposition. Formation seeker, you're putting the brand. And then in the small text here, which no one's going to read, no one's even going to see this with all the moving stuff around, the official harmonic trading software created with Scott Carney. So if Scott Carney is a huge name in this regards, Scott, I apologize for not recognizing you, but I'm not entirely sure that this is enough of a sales value proposition to make people click. And of course, terminating the search is what's so important. Actually, I forgot, sorry, another big drop in White Hat News recently is a fellow by the name of Dan Russell at Google recently put out a course somewhere in California claiming that he's the director of search quality. That was Matt Cutt's job, being the director of search quality. So I tweeted over to Barry Schwartz and I said, hey, Barry, who is this guy, Dan Russell, and why is he saying he's the director of search quality? You remember, of course, that Google has been refusing to admit who was their head of search quality since Matt Cutts left, because presumably that person didn't want all the negative press that comes along with such a job, right? But this Dan Russell fellow put out a course. So that's bombshell 1. Bombshell 2 is that in the transcript for that course, you can read it. It's on my Twitter. Go and follow me at Josh Bachynski on Twitter, or it's on my Facebook as well. Josh Bachynski SEO. You should be able to find me that way. He talked about the prime directives. He kind of put it in a Star Trek way. He said the prime directives, the main directives for ranking in Google is whether or not users like it, whether they use it, and whether they click it. Those 3 things: like it, use it, and click it. He said that's the prime directive for Google rankings these days. So, and he admitted it point blank. So that was also very interesting as well. With that in mind, I'm not entirely sure that this design here that we're looking at for Formation Tracker is going to maximize usage. First off, you're making them scroll. They have to scroll to find what they're looking for here. Some people don't even like to scroll. Anyway, another thing that I noticed here is that I did a search for a canonical. They don't have a canonical tag in their HTML here. This is actually a large problem. There's a lot of negative SEO that's now possible to do to this site because they don't have a canonical listed. At least on the index page, they didn't. And it definitely is a good signal to tell Google what this should be canonical. It's very simple HTML tag to add. There really is no excuse for not adding it, at least in my opinion, for 2017 SEO. Brad, are you aware of these negative SEO tactics you can use with the canonical when they don't have a canonical?
No, I don't really worry about it. If a site of mine goes down, then I just drop it and move on, to be honest. But I'm a plug and chug kind of guy, though. So
yeah, and that's a valid strategy. I mean, if you've got 100 websites up, if one goes down.
No, I got way more than 100, man. Come on.
Silly me. For only 100 sites. Like 100,000 sites, maybe.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Chase, do you want to jump in on here? Have you found any more stuff here?
Yeah.
One thing I'm seeing when I quickly look at it in Ahrefs is unless they're hiding their links with PBNs and bot blockers and stuff, they're not really linking with the main keyword. I don't know if that was in Chase's short list or not. I didn't read all of it, but yeah. I would start using the main keyword in your linking campaigns to push it for relevance.
But
yeah, so what I'm seeing
going over a certain threshold there, Brad?
I mean, do it once, see how it goes. I mean, I try not to use the same anchor text exactly once. There are enough variations out there that you can do that. So, or that you can just keep rotating. So
right. Good point. Sorry, Chase, go ahead.
It's all good. So what I'm seeing is a lot of basic stuff that needs to be fixed. For instance, like the duplicate title tags. Every single page has the same exact title tag. All of the pages are missing meta descriptions, low page count. I think there's only like 5 pages on the website. Like you guys were seeing, there's no call to action on the homepage, which is of course going to be probably one of the most important pages on the site. So you'd want to have like a big CTA right there. And no real content marketing or authority building here. I was going to look into like the actual spam score that Moz is picking up. For some reason, it's kind of large. So I don't know if this is like some sort of expired domain or something, but it looks like the page authority is at like 1. So maybe they did like a redirect from the old version to the SSL version, I'm hoping. So stuff like that. And then also no link silos, no schema markup, no real OG data. They should also no index the login page. And they also have videos that they could repurpose into the blog, which is like how-to stuff. And then they could just do content breakdowns and start driving traffic to their, blog as well, or whatever, resource page. But really just kind of doing authority building like you guys are talking about with the branding. So if you type in like, site : their name, or if you just go here and you type in their website, you'll see that, like, for instance, there isn't really any authority here. So Google generally, when you have authority, like a large amount of links underneath your listings. So like, for instance, one of my old sites, you'll see like, if I type in like reliable computer help, which is obviously an authority at this point, it has the knowledge panel on the side, but it's a local business, so whatever. And then it'll have like, all the listings related to this, and then, the links underneath. So Google starts to pick that up as an authority once you start doing a couple of things. And some of that stuff is around building out your social profiles, building out your assets, building out your link silos, building out your content. And right now this just looks like a very low quality site with what's going on. Only 4 pages, they're all the exact same title tags, even though Google's actually able to pick them up differently, which is great. Yeah, I mean, I would really try to start pushing content on this site. They are ranking for their main keyword, which is actually pretty competitive in terms of CPC. And the AdWords value on that's actually really high. So since they're already kind of somewhat recognized as an authority, they could start pushing out content ranking around the content that's related to this just by like plugging in their keywords into LSI graph or something.
Fantastic. Anybody have anything else they want to say about that particular site? We've spent some time on it.
I got a couple of questions. They have on the Facebook side. So they have a Facebook pixel loaded into there, which is great, which means hopefully they're advertising. Just a couple of things that I saw. When I go through, what you're going to want to do with the pixels, you're going to want to use it for retargeting. So you're going to want to have a separate pixel for each individual page you have. In terms of, if you click on, I'm clicking on this free account button. It brings me up, and I see a pixel. I can't tell whether it's a second one or it's the same one. But I did click on the premium, and I'm getting an error on the page view, which says a warning from Facebook saying if there's 2 pixels fired at the same time. So that could be how they have it loaded. It could be that they just have duplicate pixels, something like that, but that would be something I'd want to look into. I'd have to see on their side of their ad manager to make sure the pixel's firing. But it does lead me to a conversation where you're going to want to definitely use different pixel for conversions on your page. So I just wanted to.
You got a guide for that, Steve?
Yes, I do, actually.
Well, as it happens,
segue into that perfectly. One of the free giveaways I'm giving out at the end of this on the chat YouTube is actually how to install a pixel. Literally go through, make it, and it's about a 10-minute video. So we'll dump that in the comment section. It's pretty funny.
There you go. And
that was not
tell you how
time. That just happened to happen.
Get to the chopper, as the guy behind him on the DVD says. Speaking of references, anybody who can tell me what this T-shirt, this logo was selling in the movie it was selling it, can get a free site audit for me. That's right. Whoever can put it in the chat, what this was selling, don't say it out loud. Put it in the chat during this live broadcast, and you can get a free audit for me.
Does it have anything to do with Hello Kitty?
Maybe it does. Maybe it does. You never know. What was that thing selling? We'll see. Okay, so the next site here, the person emailed it to me, so I'm not sure if they want us to announce what it's all about, so I can't really share any screens about it. But I've taken a look at it. It's not ranking anywhere near as well. It seems to be stuck on page 2. The perpetual stuck on page 2 kind of thing. Really quick, because, again, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention it on air. I'll take a look. They do have a canonical. That's a good thing. They're not using title attributes to stuff keyword. That's good. And their alt attributes, let's see, they're not stuffing keywords in there either. That's a good thing. The site, to me, looks like it would convert fairly well. I don't know if any of you guys have some opinions about this other one that I posted, one of the first ones I posted in there about power. Yeah, I'm not really sure if they want us to mention it on air.
Oh.
I noticed they've converted to HTTPS. I'm wondering if they didn't do that properly, and if they lost the rankings when they converted to HTTPS. Have you guys seen that kind of thing happen as well?
No, I've seen it tank if you don't do it right. Yeah, I have to get other people to do it because I'm not that technical. But yeah, their brand search gets 7,000 a month, which they're of course #1 for. So reverting back to brand search, they should be like. I don't know what keywords they're going for. I've just got it up in Ahrefs, but
that's interesting. Here's the problem with these free tools as well. SEMrush doesn't say they're ranking #1 for that.
Oh yeah, they're always off. They are ranking #1 though. I searched. Yeah, they've got the knowledge graph and everything.
In the US?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the problem with using SEMrush or Ahrefs. Sometimes you get different data that's not really necessarily telling you the right thing.
Yeah, I include them in my quotes, and I take screenshots of whatever looks best for me. That's how I pick which one I include in my quotes. I'm like, oh, you're getting your ass kicked here, and then but it looks good in Ahrefs, so I'll use SEMrush or vice versa.
Yeah, right. It's like your credit score.
Right. That's a little tip on how to deal with clients. Maybe
There you go.
Send them the information that biases the argument to your side.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not going to send it you're not going to get shit out of this. I wouldn't buy it if I were you. So
right.
You want their money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and to argue that point, I mean, sometimes Google does do a Google dance with properties, and you never know which one is right. Like if Ahrefs is right or if SEMrush is right, because Google could be dancing that all over the place, and so you don't really know. That the truth is that it's fluctuating all over the place, possibly. Okay, so
I guess what do you think they're going for here? I don't really. Did anything come up in SEMrush that is like a viable keyword that's not branded?
No. Well, if I just click through and I take a look at what they're doing, it puts me off to a different website immediately. So if I start clicking any of these links for residential stuff, commercial stuff, they're kicking me out. One link kicked me out to another website, so that's not good.
Yeah.
You're not going to build domain authority or brand authority with multiple websites, all kind of interlinking. Another thing, I clicked on their commercial option, and it says start saving on commercial electricity, blah, 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 for your area. So I guess they're trying to resell electricity in their particular area. Yeah, I don't know how well this is going to convert, but...
Well, if we can't tell what it is, Google's not going to be able to tell what it is. So that would be my biggest suggestion with this one.
Typically, yes. I mean, I don't see any major problems. What I saw in SEMrush is that it is. What did Ahrefs say for them? And well, Ahrefs is going to be more accurate because I just looked for the HTTPS version. I'm sure. When you look into Ahrefs, what did it say for link juice?
Let me get back there. Overview. Yeah, I've got the DR is 48, which is decent. Backlinks is still loading. 24.9K, but 150 referring, 3.4K organic keywords, organic traffic 6.3K, 72 paid keywords.
So would you say they're doing? I didn't load in Ahrefs. I mean, I can in like 3 seconds, but so would you say they're doing well according to that, or because SEMrush didn't say they were doing well at all?
Yeah, I mean, organic keywords 3.4K. I mean, organic traffic, depending on what your KPIs are, but 6.3K for a local site is not bad at all, or for a state-based site isn't too bad. I don't know what the competition is doing.
Yeah,
without digging into it further, but yeah.
If I look at the competition, let me just let the data load here for a second. Yeah, they are ranking #1 when you do the search. They also seem to have maybe a language issue. Google is auto-canonicling their URL to https:// whatever they are .com/en. That could be another issue, is that Google's not sure canonical version is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a translator right on the page.
Yeah, I see that. So their monthly traffic says 23K.
Quick question. Can you run this? So if you're searching for these guys, you land on the page, and then right up top they have their social icons: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So I go there, I find them, and I go, "Oh, cool, Facebook." I click off it. What does that do, or how does Google recognize that if they clicked on that within 5 seconds?
Right, because your argument before was that if you have social buttons on your website, why do you want to take them off your website and put them back on the social button when the website is what you want them to convert on, is what you were saying before.
Yeah, so.
Well, my answer to that, and you guys can give another answer, is Google does seem to have some evidence to suggest that they want a reciprocal link between your social profiles and your social profiles to link back to your main site. It seems to be kind of a trust factor. I've seen that do fairly well in some cases. I would just do it in such a way that you're not going to start getting click bleed, that you finally got them to your website. You're not going to click bleed and get them confused and going off your Twitter, your Facebook, or whatnot. What do you guys think?
So something as simple as probably putting it down to the bottom of the footer.
Yeah, I say it helps to establish your entity. If that's
I would definitely have it. I always hesitate when I see it up top like that. I mean, and again, just on this one, I see 2 pixels loaded on the home page. Not sure if they're colliding or what they're doing with that. So, they could be advertising. But.
So if I look at some competitors here, they're blowing some of these competitors right out of the water. The traffic is in the order of magnitude of 1,000 times different for one of them, but the other one, they seem to be less. So, I mean, they're in the ballpark. So again, it's hard doing these kind of audits right off the top of the bat. I don't see anything that screams terrible on this site. I would share the design and start making all kind of design suggestions. They seem to be, their design seems to be professional. It's a little egregious. It's a little kind of yellow and blue coming out at you. I don't know if it's going to appeal to everybody, but I'm guessing it's okay. So we'll move on from that one, and I'm going to go on to see if there's any questions in the chat. If you guys want to move on to the next site, which is Websness, that was a public submission, so I'm guessing that they're fine with us mentioning that in public.
And if they're not anyway, we'll do it.
Well,
it's too late now. Yeah.
They seem to be a social marketing and SEO site.
What was that? Where's that URL?
It's in the chat there. Our private chat for the discussion where we talk about all the secrets. The public chat, let me just take a look here at the public chat here for a second. Manuel asks, is there a link to join the Hangout? Sure. Yeah, people want to come in here and join? Sure. Just don't show me your genital. Okay, so by sharing this link, and by coming in here, you're promising me not to show me your genitals, because that did happen to me one time. Not that I don't, not that I care or don't care about people's genitals. It's just that I don't want to have to go and edit it out of this broadcast.
I mean, you still invited Brad back on, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I figure if anyone's going to show him, it better impress him. So
yeah, it better be a good set. Otherwise, nah, boo earns.
It's like that meme. I'm not angry. I'm more impressed than anything. The
yes.
The Anchorman. Yeah. Yes,
precisely. Okay, I don't see a lot of questions here. Just some bro fisting. That didn't sound quite right, or maybe it does, depending on your preferences. Again, I'm not judging. It's 2017. Yeah, okay. So I shared the Hangout there. If anybody wants to join to share their site, we're not looking. Oh, we already had some people join. There we go. We have Steve and Manuel. How you guys doing?
Fine. I just wanted to comment something that I looked just yesterday, comparing 10 days of statistics before and after the March 8th, just to see what exactly were the pages that dropped in my site. And I realized that I made some mistakes because my content is mostly user-generated. And one of the cases that I found out is like a listing of pages that for some mistake I forgot to do pagination. So over time the page has grown like to have 500 links, and I should have added pagination, but I forgot. Another type of page that I found out is that well, my content that is contributed by the users is like programming components, and they upload files, and the files sometimes are data files, like for instance for dictionaries. And dictionaries have a lot of keywords. And for some reason, Google in the past found out that it was a good idea to send traffic to those pages. I don't think it was that interesting, but I left it as is. So the traffic for those pages dropped a lot. So I am observing a pattern that probably, at least in case of my site, I don't know about the others, Google has been targeting what I would call excessively long content that no real human being would be interested to look in full. Like, we would go to a page that has a listing of 500 links.
Okay, so hold on a second. So why do you think Google has a problem with that? I mean, if there's a perfectly natural reason for that to exist, like, why? What do you mean? What's your bottom line for us? What's your question?
Well, the question actually was not a question, just a reporting what I observed in my pages. What dropped?
And when did this drop?
After March 8th.
March 8th. So, okay. Well, March 8th was the Fred update. I can see they're already talking about it there in the chat. Someone said something related to this shirt, but they're not quite right. That's not the answer. Try again. It's not the exact answer I'm looking for, rather. I'm sorry. Yes, the March 8th update was the Fred update. Barry Schwartz was nice enough to look over around 100 sites, and he claims he thinks it's low quality content, kind of thin, spammy, duplicated content just made for either like to rank backlink sites, cough cough Brad, or or maybe to make thin kind of affiliate sites or thin kind of AdSense sites. I had someone contesting that, and so I said, okay, send me your sites and I'll take a look. And he sent me about 20 different sites that were just duplicated chiropractor sites. And I said, I'm sorry, but this is exactly the kind of content that Barry had found. So as far as I can tell, Google doesn't announce these things. As far as I can tell, it seems to me that the Fred update has more to do with low quality content than links or anything related like that. So with that in mind, if that's the case, let me ask you, Manuel, do you look at your usage metrics for these pages? Do users use these pages? Do they enjoy these pages? Is this answering their question? Or do you think that they're bouncing in droves from these pages because they're crap?
They're probably bouncing if they came from search, of course. Well, in the case of those pages that have files that have like dictionaries, I don't see somebody just going there for that page. It was Google that was sending traffic to those pages. That was code. It was programming code. It was for software developers to download and use, not exactly to take a look on a web page. But since my content is user generated, I just displayed it as it is.
Yeah.
In the beginning,
sorry to cut you off there, Manuel. So yeah, that often happens. I mean, user-generated content is something that's typically hit by Google, often hit by Google, that has to be policed. It's not that surprising, actually, that would happen. My recommendation, and I got to move on to other questions. My recommendations would be, if people are not liking it, then why is it on the site? If it doesn't need to rank, then I wouldn't put it there. I would no index it.
Can I chime in here? I think like people are so focused on these updates and whether or not they got hit by Fred or whether or not they got hit by Penguin or whether or not they got hit by Panda. And it's like, look, this kind of all goes back to what I've been ranting about for like the last 2 years. And I have so many people disagree with me on this stuff. But it's like, it's all basic stuff. Like, make sure your pages are quality. Stop indexing a bunch of thin quality, value pages.
Uh-oh, here he goes.
Getting spammy backlinks and PBNs. Stop spinning your content, Brad.
Oh, I will not. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Until that
stop
rapper
buying
review
inspired.
is good.
He's bringing the hammer down.
Domains.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't work for everybody. I mean, that doesn't work for some people. I'm just saying in general, like the vast majority of people who try to do this stuff, it's like just focus on creating a quality website. Like, why do you have to do all this stuff? Unless you're like Brad and you're making money doing, whatever you're doing, that's fine. But for most people, the general population of people who are trying to do SEO, and it's usually just small business owners, you don't need to be doing this stuff. Just start doing like quality stuff for your website, and you'll start getting like rankings out of it and conversions.
Quality content from iWriter.
Yes, moving right along. Thank you, Manuel. We got to go to other people. So, do any of you guys have a site you want us to look at? First staff who's joined, do you have a site you want us to look at that we can discuss, or do you have an SEO question? Yes, sir. I see your raising hand. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Yeah, excellent. I do have a website which is posing a bit of a problem for me.
Please post it in the chat and let us know if we can mention it publicly.
It is, in fact, it is a competitor website which is bothering me a little bit because they're doing some exact match link building, which I didn't think would work, but it does seem to work very, very well. And
Is this an English-based
don't know why.
or a different
It
language?
is in the UK.
So it's English-based.
Yes.
Okay. So this will be interesting. You got a white hat opinion, and then you'll get, hopefully, if Brad wants to comment, a black hat opinion. If Brad doesn't mind me calling him black hat.
Not more black than white. So I listen to a lot of rap. So
there you go. So he comes by his credentials honestly. So what's the site here? Paste it in the chat.
I've just put it in the chat now.
While we wait for that, let me
Is
see
there?
here.
Oh, sorry. There's a Hangout chat. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Oh, you put it in the public
I
chat?
put it in. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I can see it there. Here, I got it.
That's fine.
Here, it's that one. Okay.
Yep.
So this is the site, mcmu.co.uk. What is the site about? What is it supposed to be doing?
I think it's a marketing agency.
Please don't tell me it's a site with child pornography on it.
No.
Okay, good. I just loaded it. Fantastic. That was a leap of faith on my part. Okay, marketing communications for McQueen Mulholland.
Yes, it's a local marketing agency.
Okay, first SEO problem. There is no text on the index page.
That'll get you.
However, this because I've looked at it from Chase's perspective because I do this for a living, and everything about their website screams there's loads of on-page optimization to do. But then if you look at that backlink, at their backlinks, you'll see something very interesting, and they literally popped out of nowhere. That is my
Wait, hold on. What website is this?
conundrum.
Let me see this. What is this?
mcmu.co.uk.
So they're doing something that's not supposed to work.
Yeah, all their
Which is-
anchor text is digital design and marketing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the footer.
Oh,
Is it all footer? Okay, so it's
It's all
site-wide.
footer.
That's what
Yeah.
it looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
Their site's literally like a footer, dude.
No. Are you? How are you affiliated with these people?
I'm not.
It's a competitor.
They're competitors of yours. Okay, so we can get nasty then. We don't have to be polite.
Yeah,
What are
absolutely.
they ranking for? They're ranking for marketing communications. Devin McQueen.
Yeah, Exeter, Devon. Well, marketing agency, Exeter.
Marketing agency. What was it? What was the last one?
Exeter.
Exeter.
Exeter. Yeah,
Yeah, it's in their title.
EXITO.
in the chat.
Oh, there we go. Dude, this is like zero competition, man. Like you could trump these guys easy.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
but I mean,
have a lot of
we
competition.
have. That's no problem. Just
It's just
that
like-
they've appeared that it's
So your
my
question-
problem
okay,
that
so
it
hold on.
works.
Your question is, why are they ranking so well? Is that your question?
Exactly. Why? Because I figured after a few weeks,
I can answer the question already, because there's so little competition that Google has so little to put up there, so they'll put anything up there.
That's how I get traffic.
Yeah, I don't even know if this has like a real search rate on it. Like this is probably
It's a
I don't know,
valid
maybe
strategy. Look for, that's called low-hanging fruit. Look for niches that have no competition, where the competition is squishy, as some of my SEO friends like to say, and
Like my
insert yourself
girlfriends.
in where it's squishy.
Lumpy.
Boom, boom,
So, like
boom.
literally, I can tell you just from looking at this, like you could probably just do like some citations, some review generation, probably some on-page link building, link siloing, and like just continuing to build out your content around whatever you're trying to go for in this city, and pretty much rank. Like the reason why they're ranking is because it's not just about the homepage. Like the homepage doesn't really like matter too much. Like it does, but
Doesn't have to, no.
But like what you can do is you can spend a lot of time building out these other pages, which are going to like have Google understand the entire site architecture based around what you're going for, and build authority around your main keyword just by having topical. It's called topical seeding, where you're looking at all of the different phrases that are variations of your main keywords, and then Google will start ranking your main keyword for this. So I'm not surprised that these people are ranking, and their SEO is not even that great. Like it's decent, but this is like one of those things where like you could heavily target this with SEO for like a month or two and rank like #1 organically and locally. You might already, but this is so, like Josh was saying, this is so low competition that's why they're ranking.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of things that they could do, but I mean that's the answer. And also we get this question. I get this question all the time. I get this question pretty much every day, and so I'm going to have a little rant session if Chase will allow me. I know Chase is our resident ranter. But if Chase will allow me to have a little bit of a rant, and then I'll do the hand thing he does at the same time, like this. I get this question every day. My competition is doing tactic X, Y, and Z you said not to do, but they're ranking over me. Why / you're wrong / explain / the answer is that, well, everything I'm doing is a guess. Newsflash, everything everyone is doing in SEO is a guess. It's a guess based on experience and maybe secrets Google's told you. Ignoring all that, though, because it's a level playing field for all SEOs. Ignoring all that, yeah, there's many ranking factors. So they can make a mistake here, and they can make a mistake here, and they can make a mistake here, but they could be doing so much better than you in this area or that area that they're going to rank above you, and you're going to rank underneath because you're doing so crappy in this area or that area. So I don't know. You guys, here's another point. This is supposed to be a friendly debate show, so we can have a friendly debate right now if you like. I don't think doing competitive analysis is really worth it anymore because I think half of the algorithm is based on things that we really can't see. That is to say, how well they're terminating search. We can make educated guesses as to how well they're terminating search, what their click-through rate is, and how well they're terminating that search. But we can't really see that. And so I don't know, what do you guys think? I don't think competitive analysis is really worth doing, or like diagnosing what hit you, like was it Panda, was it Penguin? I don't think it's really worth doing. I think it's just do what you know, rank sites, and you'll eventually outrank them. What do you guys think about that?
What competition?
We're advertised. You don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, there you go.
I see. Ask a serious question and get smarmy answers. Is that the answer?
No, I don't look at competition. I don't care what they're doing. I just do my thing because I know it works.
Well, yeah, that was my point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And what do you say when people go to you? Sorry, Steve, 1 second. What do you say when people go to you and they're like, but they're doing these things you said not to do, and they're ranking over me, and they want some kind of an answer? What do you say to that?
If I know them well, I said I don't give a fuck what they're doing. So, but if I'm trying to be nice, I say, well, let me look into it, and I'm like, well, you can outrank them with this and this. So,
but it even goes.
Who they are.
It even goes into like life. Like you see like people making tons of money. It's like, well, they're making tons of money, so that means that it works, right? And just because people are successful at something doesn't mean that it's correct. So I see this all the time with SEO is people are like, but PBNs work for these guys, or spinning content works for these guys, and maybe it does in their certain situation, and maybe they're able to make money from it. But does that mean that's what's the vast majority of people are doing? If every single search result you saw was spun content, or just a bunch of links pointing to a page with no actual like relevancy, what would Google look like? I mean, they would change their algorithm again to try to combat that. So I would try to not look at what's actually successful as much as like what actually works. And a lot of that comes down to experience and following people who really know what they're doing.
I agree. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to butcher your
I was just
name.
going to say one thing.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Like Josh's question was, do you do any competitive analysis? I think just to bring it back a little, you want to do a little bit. If you're doing local search, you're going to want to see that your competitor's got a listing on, some local chamber site or some local not-for-profit, and maybe you can get in on that same. I don't think you should obsess about your competitor, but I do think you should look at the quick wins that you could at least pair yourself up with.
Yeah, no, I take your point. I take your point. Yeah, I mean, if you see there's some new chamber in wherever you live has opened up, new business chamber, and they're getting links from there, and it looks really legitimate, and you're like, oh, I don't have that, definitely. And if you looking at how many reviews and ratings they have and where they're getting reviews and ratings, that again can be a really good thing to do. Yeah, for sure. I concede your point there. Okay, so I'm going to butcher your name. I apologize, and I muted you because there was some extra noise coming from you there, my young friend. But if you want to unmute yourself and talk, if your English is good, please let us know. And Abhishek, sorry, I can't pronounce your name. You want to tell us about your site there? Do you have a microphone, or do you have no microphone? I think you do because you were making noise and I muted you, so you must have a microphone.
2 turntables and a microphone.
There you go. So yeah, join us. Tell us what your site is about. It's can I say it out on air? To unmute yourself, there's a little. If you move your mouse over the video, there's a little microphone at the top on the leftish side. You can unmute yourself.
Did he post it in the chat? I don't see it.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the question. My site's not ranking.
He says to message him. Okay, so he'll be the silent. He's our silent guest today. He's our mystery guest. He's young. He's handsome. He looks like he's from India or Pakistan, around there. It's the king of Bollywood. No, I'm just kidding. So your site is. He's from India. Woo, India. I like India quite a bit. So Tech and Tweet is his website. Tech and Tweet. And I'll take a look at it here. So if you can tell us in the chat what this site is about and what's the primary purpose for it, who is it serving, what's it supposed to do, and we'll run some other little SEO tests for it.
Yeah, I'm seeing nothing come up as far as links go. So
it could very well be a new site.
That's what it looks like. And there's not really anything on the homepage that he's targeting from what I see. Just quickly analyzing.
Yeah. So it's a blog site, obviously. It's got an SEO guide, make money online, blogging review. Let me guess, he's probably trying to make money from affiliate stuff based on these kinds of subjects. Make money online, how to do SEO kind of a thing. Am I right, my friend? You said yes, it's new. You said yes, I'm right. Yes, someone finally told me I'm right. That's just always what I want to hear. I'm pun partially intended. Actually, that's pretty honest, to tell you the truth. Actually, okay. Well, then I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole, and I'm gonna click on 5 programs to apply effects to photos online. Okay. It looks like it was written by yourself. Okay, so here we have a standard blog page. It's got a nice little hero image. It's a standard blog, like a million other blogs. In this wonderful day, I decided to make a list of sites that allow us a simple way to improve our photos by applying effects. Okay. And then you list them down here. And I imagine you must be monetizing this in some way, shape, or form. How do you monetize it? Are these going to be affiliate links, or what are these going to be? As we wait for him to answer, affiliates. Yes. Okay. So I can give an answer right now, and again, I'm not meaning to be critical. Your blog doesn't look that bad. I've seen worse ones for sure. So remember I said that. It looks pretty good. I've seen worse ones. But remember, like, rough guess, guys on the panel, how many people in the world do you think our young friend here is competing with this blog? How many blogs, like what, 100 million? Literally, about 100 million blogs like this? 10 million, or in that order? That's how many blogs exactly like this Google has to decide to index, to rank, and to sort. Why? Is there anything super special here that we see on this blog? And again, we're just being honest. We're not trying to be insulting to our young friend here from India. But what about this is so wonderful that Google is going to decide that it just definitely has to rank this at the top for when people are looking to apply effects to photos?
Well,
is there anything about it that is so incredibly special?
Hold on. So, I mean, of course, the homepage is not going to be ranking for its main keywords with something that has such a low authority. But like the long tail keyword, what? For all the different. Sorry, you just cut out. For all of the different pages that are going for, you know, whatever, like how to drive 100,000 readers daily on your blog, like this is all stuff that you can rank for without having a ton of authority because it's long tail. So like the thing for me really is like, I'm looking at this site and it looks like a news site, but it's not, it doesn't look like it's positioned as a news site. Like it does graphically, but I mean, if I were doing this and really updating this site as much as they're updating this, I would probably start doing like date indexes and news markup for schema, since there's like literally, you know, articles being posted, I think, every day. Now, if this is just a blog website and it's not devoted to news, you know, that's great too. But I think Josh has a point. Like, you know, this website doesn't really seem like it has too much of a theme other than just like publishing content. So,
yeah, I mean,
know,
take a look at this here. Take a look at this here. So this is his competition. Be Funky has got some photo effects and filters. They have 1.25 million visitors a month, according to SEMrush. They have 85,000 keywords ranking. They take the first 2 spots. Then there's this site. They get 632,000 visitors a month. They have 1,100,000 keywords ranking. Then there's this site. For this particular keyword, they have 7,000 keywords ranking, and that brings him 20,000 searches a month, or traffic a month, or somewhere along those lines. And it just keeps going and going. I mean, look at his competition that he's dealing with here. Again, I don't want to be negative to our young friend from India, and I'm not saying this to be a jerk or to be critical in any way, shape, or form. But there's some business decisions that need to be made at a basic level first. I get this question. I'm going to rant now on another thing. And I brought the rant hand and use the Chase rant hand. I get this question on a regular basis. Josh, how do I make money online? I just want to make money online site because I read on some forum somewhere that's what I'm supposed to do. How do I make that work? And my answer is you probably don't. You probably have 100 million sites, literally 100 million sites that you're trying to compete against with all the people, all the lovely people over in India. It's a very populated country. All the people in Brazil that are getting online. All these people who are getting online are trying to make money online, and they've probably chosen that keyword. If I take a look and see actually how much people you're competing with here. So here, this is what the competition looks like just on the top 10. If I do an actual search on this in quotations, turn off that, and then I go here and I go start equals 990 and get a realistic sense. So people who are targeting these keywords, it says it's got 17. So for these particular keywords, but again, these are weird keywords. This is not your main keyword, so this is probably a bad example. You only have 17 people to compete with, 17 pages. So that's not too bad. That's fine. But when I go back here and I take a look at who the big people are that Google thinks should be ranking for this kind of stuff, remember, it's people with huge amounts of traffic. And so you got to consider that, of course, when you're going to make your site and decide who you're going to try and compete against. That might sound a little draconian, but I'm not entirely sure that that's even a niche you should be going for. Anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah, it all boils down to keyword research, in my opinion. If you're going to go into the make money online niche, you've got to find the pocket within that niche, that's sub niche that you can really dominate and drive traffic with. And you know, that's going to take some time to do, but once you find it, you can exploit it and hope that no one else finds it. So I would just dig into that, study up on keyword research, and go to town.
Yeah, Steve wants to ask a question, so let's just finish off this point here. So yeah, again, we're not trying to be negative or critical, and I know people are living hand to mouth, and they got to make money, and it's not you know a joke. So I'm not taking this lightly by any stretch or means. So to do better keyword research, I like using AdWords Keyword Planner. They don't give you accurate keyword data, but at the very least, it's you know it's accurate cost per click data, and that's giving you a general sense of how important certain memes are. Did Chase drop off? Is that who we lost here?
He had to go refill the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to refill it. Wait, the rant bucket or the water bucket? Which one?
Yeah, but well, he hit his hand on the desk, so now he's headed to the yard.
Bang! Oh, and he's gonna run around. Broke his hand. Okay, so Steve had a question for Chase, but unfortunately Chase is gone. So I guess that is out of the question. So Steve, I'm sure you know how to get in touch with Chase there. So
I'll throw it out there anyways if you guys want to.
Sorry, Steve.
I'll throw it out there anyways if you guys want to hear it.
Yeah.
It was something he said in a video. I think it was you guys together. He mentioned something about domain ranking fairly well, but then when it was redirected to another domain, it caused a problem. And I do a lot of SEO experiments, and in one of them, I saw some behavior like this where two domains independently seem to rank okay, and Google even trusts the schema. But when I redirected one domain to the other domain, all hell broke loose. And I don't know if it was correlation or causation, but I've since removed the redirect. The main site recovered, but the site that remained tanked is the only one that Google trusts for schema now. And I don't know if that'll fix itself. So I had domain A pointing to domain B, and my rankings tanked. Both of them ranked before I redirected one to the other because they were very similar. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing a mime interpretive dance of what you're talking about.
Did you have similar anchor on both of those domains?
Yes,
just be
very,
over
very
optimized.
similar.
Yeah, you could be over optimized with
Yeah.
the anchor text. Yeah, it could have tipped it.
But the funny thing is, now that I separated the two domains, the one continues to rank well, but the schema isn't picked up by Google, and the other one ranks like crap, and Google still trusts the reviews on the tank domain. It's so bizarre. So maybe that'll correct over
that
time.
must be a canonical mistake. So my guess would be that would fix itself over time.
Okay.
It's a problem though, because I've seen people do that, and it takes like months to fix itself sometimes.
Right.
So the
So the
short
larger
answer is don't ever transfer a domain unless you absolutely have to, or change URLs unless you absolutely have to, because Google can get confused, and there's no way in short of like bothering John Mueller for 2 years, literally, which you know a lot about, Steve, to change their ways. Sometimes there's no way to fix it other than that.
So the larger question is, would you recommend, we have some historic domains that we used to own. Like, do you even do redirects with those anymore? Or if you have old dead domain names that don't really have any link juice to them, do you just stop redirecting those to your money site?
I will pass this question on to my Black Hat associate, Mr. Mabry. Mr. Mabry, Brad?
Yep. I mean, if it's not getting any traffic and it doesn't have any power behind it, then I don't see the purpose of doing it. If it does have traffic or links going to it, and it's like I'll 301 a domain over just to dilute the anchor text sometimes. They don't work as well as they used to, but I think they do have some power still. But you've just got to be careful. Like if you had two sites targeting the same keyword, more than likely you're going to have, keyword A going to all of one domain and keyword A going to all of the other domain. And when you merge those, it just tips you over.
Okay.
It sounds like that's what happened with yours. But as far as having old like EMD 301 sitting around, you can do that, but just that alone without the backlinks or traffic going behind it, I wouldn't say would provide a ton of benefit, in my opinion. It can add some relevance if you back that up with links, but I typically don't worry about it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks very much. This has been a great show. We're closing out the show now. It's been just over an hour or thereabouts or around there. Does anyone have any parting comments, final things? Steve, you didn't get to say much about Facebook this time. Do you have anything you wanted to talk about today?
Yeah, I would just say that we went through a couple of the sites. I found a lot of either they had pixels, they had issues with their pixels. Pixels are massive for Facebook retargeting. I'm going to dump a little link to a free how to literally get one with no information at all. I'll dump that in the chat. But retargeting pixels and crump juice. I just want to my crump juice.
Yeah, and I have to officially give Steve a shout out. I've seen some stuff he did. We're seeing, what was that ROI that we saw on that, Steve? That one mini campaign you ran for us?
It was pretty big. I think Mike was saying it was in the over 400%.
Yeah, I think he said like 600 right before I hopped on. He meant to be here. He had a family emergency. He had to hop off for it. But yeah, 600% ROI. So he is officially my agency Facebook expert. I pulled him on to a few projects already. So do you have that link available that we've put together for you?
Yeah, I'll shoot it over to Josh. All
right, cool.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Steve is a fantastic fellow himself as well. And his Facebook magic. Sorry?
Not just a pretty face.
That's right. He's not just a pretty face. He also can slay predators and get to the chopper with his massive water.
Yep. And Cornelius and Jeremiah.
Yes,
silver and gold.
Yep.
The ambrosia of the gods. So thanks very much, guys. So, does anyone else have any final things they want to say? Any quick little 5-minute thingamajiggers?
I have one, but I'll save it for next time. I'll be here. It's,
okay, good. So you'll leave us in suspense as to what this could possibly be. he's the meaning of life and everything. The number is 42.
It's regarding the thread update. So I do have a website that is very interesting.
Okay, well, I'd be happy to look at it. Abhishek, our young friend from India, did ask a final question, and seeing that we beat up on him earlier, I feel duty bound to answer it. He says, how can I increase branding? That's a good question. So here's the white hat answer, and then I'll give you my gray hat answer. The white hat answer is be something fantastic. Think of a business plan to begin with that is awesome, that will just naturally share itself. That is harder to do than it sounds, of course. In your particular area where you're trying to kind of rehash a business plan that has been done to death by many hundreds of millions of people before you, it could be very, very difficult to do. The gray hat answer is this, is that, and Brad can disagree at any moment he likes, but there may be algorithms set up in Google to catch you when you're doing massive linking to your money site, so you don't want to do that anymore. But there's nothing stopping you from firing up SE Nuke or GSA or those old kind of programs. If they allow you to do this, I'm not even sure, but let's say they do, just for the sake of example, and putting out 10,000 blog posts out there that talk about how good your blog is in this area or that area, and that if they want to find you, they should search you out in Google and click on the result. So these have to be websites that get traffic, of course, but if you can get even 10 or 100 people reading this article and going, this sounds pretty good, highlighting in Google, highlighting in Chrome, right-clicking and searching in Google and clicking your result, this is going to increase your brand searches. You can also do contests as well. You could put a contest out on, I don't know, maybe Facebook. Steve might have no way of doing this. I don't know if you can have contests on Facebook. But you could also do contests on other places and say, hey, here's the means for the contest. Go to Google, search our blog out, click on the result, go to this page, and fill in a result, and I'll give you a $10 free Amazon gift card or something like that. These are all gray hat ways that are technically not against Google, because Google doesn't even talk about this. But these are all ways that you can increase your brand searches.
Yeah, social profiles too.
One at a time, boys. One at a time.
Sorry, you first.
I'll put the thing on. I was going to say there's definitely some low-cost things you can do on the social side. When you're talking about trying to build a brand, you can do a post, try and get a couple of reactions from it, take that post, create it into an ad, really cheap. He can do some stuff like that. I looked at his fan page; he only had, I think, 135 people following him. You could do low-cost like increases, campaigns, that kind of thing. Facebook's a lot more open, it seems like, on the back end than some of the stuff I'm hearing you guys talking about.
And Brad, did you have something to say on that topic there?
Yeah, just branded social accounts. Just go to Fiverr, order some. Then you're good. Establish your entity, basically. You can do that white hat. You can do that gray hat, black hat, whatever you want to do. But yeah, make it known. Tie all that together in schema. Kind of protects your brand.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. All right, so that's all the time I've got for today. This has been White Hat versus Black Hat, special massive site audit edition. We tried to get as many sites as we possibly could. I apologize to all the folks that we couldn't get to, but like I said, there's only so many of us and always so much time. I usually tweet these things out in advance, and if you want to get your site looked at for free, it's probably better to follow me on Twitter at Josh Bachynski. See that plug to follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook as well. Steve set up some kind of Facebook thing for me. I don't know. I never go there, but it's fantastic. So go and use it. I didn't see anyone answer this question properly. This is an advertisement for the Odie bar, which was seen in the movie Serenity, which was based on the TV show Firefly. So this was an advertisement for the Odie bar, which causes people who are actually secret assassins to go insane and murder people. So sorry you guys missed out on that one. Your nerd cred does not go as far as me. Although for some reason, Chase and Brad and I were all wearing red shirts, and today and Steve wore a green shirt. I'm not sure if that means because we're SEO and he's Facebook. I'm not sure exactly what that means.
He just makes more money than us. That's it.
Yeah, green, baby.
Right. He's in a market that is not stagnating. He's in a market that is upwardly mobile, so to speak. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys. That's all we have for today. Again, my name is Josh Bachynski. As I said, you can follow me at Twitter at Josh Bachynski. You can email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com if you have any more questions about your sites or didn't get them answered. Guys, you want to give your final 30-second parting remarks? Steve, didn't you have a link you want me to put out?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll put the link in there, and anybody with questions, email me at Steve.
I can drop it to you. Let me find it.
Yeah.
Say your email again there. I don't think it got out.
Steve at brightsourcemedia.com.
I think it's nfgseo.com/Facebook.
Yeah, that's where we put the link is. Brad's hosting it.
It's nfg.com/Facebook.
nfgseo.com/Facebook.
And what is this again?
It is a free, a little 10-minute free seminar on building a pixel. I actually go into Power Editor real quick. I don't know why I kind of go into a squirrel tangent, but just about 10 minutes of free dumping some knowledge.
It's Steve getting drunk and talking about Facebook ads pretty much, and that's when you get the best
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like drunk history, but it's drunk Facebook ads.
We need to do drunk SEO sometime too. How wasted can we get at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday, whatever day it is?
So something tells me pretty wasted.
The answer is very, yeah. Exactly.
That could be accomplished. And okay, so thanks very much, guys. This has been White Hat versus Black Hat SEO. Brad, just as a final remark, how many fucks were given today?
0. I had 10 when I woke up this morning. I still have 10, so we're good.
10. So 10 for 10. We're equal. Divide that. We equal number 1. Fantastic. So do the math on that thing.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks very much, guys. And as I say, tune in next week. We're going to have another White Hat versus Black Hat SEO podcast on Wednesday at 1 p.m. most likely. So watch my Twitter or Google Plus or Facebook for that. And thanks very much, folks, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Later.